Good evening. I am going to call the February 2023 Public Safety Meeting to order. My name is Lisa Dorsey, Chair, and I am joined by Councilman Nick Allen and Councilwoman Sheila Vaccaro. We've got first item on the agenda, or second item, is comment suggestions, petitions by residents for items not on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move right on to number 3, discussion items, and the first is the fire department.
Good evening, Council. Justin McClure, Assistant Fire Chief. You have the report for January. You'll actually notice that our call volume is down for that month. The volunteers certainly appreciated the break. However, on February 1st, it was like someone flipped a switch, and we're back up to our average number of responses per day. Other than that, we actually have nothing to report. January was a pretty nice month for all involved. So.
Giving you rest before the Eagles win on Sunday.
We are hoping for a non-event, but all 3 stations are having watch parties.
Wise decision. Thank you. Any questions for the fire department? Okay, moving on to the police department. Chief Moorhead.
Good evening. Jim Moorhead, Chief of Police. For the month of January, the police department responded to 3,440 calls for service, of which 2,629 of those were in the borough, which is a typical January for us. Everything was tracking normally. Part 1 and Part 2 crime was very, very typical. No spikes there, and nothing really to report crime-wise other than an incident that we had on January 22nd where a young man was shot, and this is as the result of a celebration over the Eagles division win. Luckily, we had an officer within feet of the incident when it occurred. The fast actions of the officers involved saved the man's life for now. He still remains extremely critical. But I'd like to remind anybody listening to this meeting that we have a big celebration potentially coming up this Sunday. We're certainly staffing and preparing for it, but we want everyone to act responsibly, celebrate accordingly, do not damage our businesses, our residents, each other. Have a good time, enjoy it, but celebration needs to be done correctly. So we're certainly preparing, ramping up our services for this Sunday. And we keep the young gentleman's family in our thoughts and prayers as he continues his fight to survive this incident back on January 22nd. I would like to mention that we lost a former police officer of the department, Gordon Smith, who was a retired lieutenant from West Goshen Township. Gordon started with the Westchester Police Department back in 1957. He left after 9 years in 1966 and moved next door to West Goshen, where he had a successful career. Gordon passed away about a week and a half ago, and his services are coming up this week. I have a copy of Gordon's contract downstairs, and his starting salary offered by the borough manager back in 1957 was just under $3,800 a year. So that's, I'm sure Sean would like to see it go back to that. And then finally, again, I can't say enough about the officers who were working the night of the 22nd and what their actions did to save someone's life. It's just a reminder, being in the right place at the right time and having the care for all life, and is why we're talking about this in a different way than it could be. So any questions for me?
No questions, Chief. Just want to thank you and the officers for the response to that incident. It's very sad, and didn't realize the gentleman who had been shot is still in critical condition. So, you know, it sounds cliche, but thoughts and prayers are with his family.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Any questions for Chief Moorhead? Seeing none, we'll move on to EMS. Chief Brogan?
Good evening, Chaz Bergen. I'm the EMS chief from Good Fellowship Ambulance. Good Fellowship responded to 670 calls total in the month of January. 183 were in Westchester Borough. So relatively normal month for us here. So really nothing else to report abnormally. I just want to mention that we're preparing for the Super Bowl as well. We announced last month or two that we added the station at Westchester University. So we have the student volunteers now. So they'll actually be staffing their own ambulance down there the night of the Super Bowl, which will help offset and supplement the area. So we've been working with the police and the fire department on that. We should be good to go.
Great, thank you. Any questions for EMS? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on to the action items. Item number 4, approve the January 2023 Public Safety and Quality of Life meeting minutes. Good, good. Passed. And approve, item number B, approve the request from the Westchester Fire Department to make the below additions or changes to fire hydrants in the borough. 1 hydrant at the corner of South High and East Nields, and 1 at the corner of South High and East Rosedale. Anything to add there? Seems pretty routine.
The addition of these hydrants are for 2 reasons. Number one, if you've sat in traffic here the last couple of weeks, Aqua is doing main replacements on High Street. The advantage when they do this, other than new infrastructure, is they will add hydrants, the cost of which the process to add the hydrants and the physical hydrants themselves at no additional fee to the borough. They just get carried into the monthly hydrant lease that the borough pays. The current lease price per hydrant is $28.57 per month. The addition of these 2 hydrants will be an extra $685.68 per year. This will put hydrants in that corridor on a larger size main, and it will allow us to keep the hose off of High Street for some of our target hazards in the event of an emergency.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All right. Any other business? Seeing none, we are adjourned at, not sure what time it is, 5.